385.
I need coffee. Jeeves, bring me coffee.
Yeah.
We don't have one of them. No health insurance.
You'll be fine. Just breathe deep.
Stand by. Oh, God. Why do you do this to me all the time?
Every time. That's why we YouTube it now. So today's cigar is a baby little brick house.
Baby brick house.
Shout out to Cigar Room, New Jersey, Cigar Room NJ in Fort Lee. No, it's just a walk in the dog size. Carlos, the owner of Cigar Room NJ, dropped off a beautiful assortment for me.
That's actually a nice looking cigar.
Yeah, it's a shorty fatty. It's a nice walk in the dog cigar. So everyday carry today, no knife today. Today, I'm carrying a ball peen hammer.
Why?
Round it.
Why?
Well, it's hammer time.
It's hammer time?
It's hammer time. And I'm going to tell you why it's hammer time. It's because the Supreme Court, after this whole circus, is 5-4 now.
Mm-hmm.
And states like New Jersey are going to get it. Okay? We've heard this before from Bach and a few other people that they've been oppressing us for so long that Louis Knappen posted something that was phenomenal. He's basically like question behind the question today, where he says to a prosecutor, are you sure you want to pursue this, or do you want to just drop it? Because if you pursue it, you're going to be taking a chance with a 5-4 Supreme Court. Okay, because New Jersey has been so unconstitutional for the past 35, 40 years, as J Factor always says, and it's time that a case is going to make it. Either it's California, New York, or New Jersey, a case is going to make it to the Supremes, and with the Supreme Court being 5-4, and no one's taken up my offer to take Ruth Bader Ginsburg ziplining yet. I'll pay. All expenses paid, flight and everything. First class. Wow. Yeah, I saw her at the swearing-in ceremony.
She doesn't even, she can't even run a coherent sentence. How does she, we should stop
Law
this.
clerks.
We really should stop this.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. She looked like an old crow or something, with her head down, 85 years old. So it's hammer time for the 6 states that are violating our constitutional rights, is all I have to say. What's going to happen is, 6 and counting. Well, they have other problems, other states. But Scott Bach has said that because states like New Jersey have been so restrictive to our constitutional rights and our right to carry, and our right to possess, etc., and our right to defend ourselves, that when a case finally makes it to the Supremes, boy, are they going to be in big trouble.
Yeah.
If you do not belong to New Jersey Firearms Syndicate, New Jersey Firearms Owners Syndicate on Facebook, that's Mark Cheeseman's page, you need to get on it, because J Factor has been posting awesome videos of the history of gun control in the United States, and especially New Jersey. Burton versus Sills, and he's just been posting these 20-minute, 30-minute videos. You need to educate yourself on that. And also, we've gotten a little bit of shot in the arm, but their case, the Cheeseman-Gillard case, is a self-funded case, and Gillard is going to come up because he's going to take a shot at the fireman gun we're giving away. That's something else I'm talking about. And we'll have these guys on the show again. J Factor, we need to do like a 12-hour show if he's going to come up and talk. But
he's incredible.
Yeah, their concealed carry case, right to carry case, is Cheeseman-Gillard, but it's go to GoFundMe, Restore/Carry/NJ. Google it, Restore Carry NJ GoFundMe, and send them $25, $50, $100, $500 or whatever. Walter Haas outbid me in his donation, which means I'm going to be stepping it up again. He pissed me off. Scott Bach has donated to the case, and this is a self-funded case. New Jersey, ANJRPC, and NRA have a lavishly funded concealed carry case from their law firm in the city in D.C. that's heading towards the Supreme Court as well. So we're doing the best that we can to get something to the Supremes, but it's hammer time, okay? That's what I want to say at that point now. Almost. No, MC Hammer. So I got an award, I talk about our future and paying it forward. I got another major award. The Boy Scouts of America, the Northern New Jersey Council, would like to thank their station sponsor, Gun4Hire, for the 2008 Sporting Clay shooting event at Orvis, Sandinona in Millbrook, New York. And Grant and Fran Bonacorsa dropped it off to me. It's a beautiful plaque. They also brought us shooting vests as well. We bought all of the ammo. We donated all the ammo for the event. There was over 100 scouts and scout leaders that attended. So again, I always talk about this, that at Gun for Hire Woodland Park Range, we're not just a gun range. We're the tip of the spear in the two-way fight in New Jersey. I'm the only range owner in the state of New Jersey that sticks his neck out personally and professionally. Boy, could I tell you stories. Risk my freedom, spend a lot of my money, go down to Trenton and call people out. So not only are we not the best gun range in the United States, our two-way activism is bar none. We have a Gun for Hire two-way page. If you Google Gun for Hire /2 look at our two-way page and look at my videos and look at the involvement that we do. But this was it was humbling to get this from the scouts because they're our future, and I never say no to anybody. The SAW group, the second is for everyone. So anybody can open a gun range, but if you want a gun range that's active and fighting for your rights behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, forward of the scenes, we're the ones that do it. I'm the one that does it because my calling was this. Yeah. Gun range came second, but my calling was activism, and unity and activism is key. 3 guys just showed up this morning. They're softball coaches. They're here for a world tournament or something, softball league tournament. They Googled us. They left their hotel. 3 guys. They come here to shoot. So they're walking around. One guy shows me he has a pistol permit in San Diego. Not a carry, but a shooting permit, range permit. So I said, what do you think about my place? He goes, buddy, I've never been in a range that's so clean, nice, and friendly and safe as yours. He goes, you need to open one in San Diego. And I said to him, San Diego? I would rather rub glass in both my eyes than open one in San Diego. I was crazy enough to do this in New Jersey. Other people out there in the two-way community, other people that own gun businesses in this state, they hide their head in the sand. I'm the only one that's out there all the time. I'm the only one that had the seeds to invite Loretta Weinberg in this studio and in his range and risk it all. Did I achieve anything? No, I humanized us, but I'm the only one that does that.
I think we did achieve something there because I think, if anything, she came here and had one idea and left with an entirely different idea.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
Is it going to change the way she legislates? Probably not, because she really does believe. But at least we were able to dialogue, and that's what this really should be about. We were able to dialogue without screaming at one another. She's a reasonable person, but she really does believe that what she is doing is the right thing to do.
What sticks in my craw is what you say all the time. She says, well, we pass a bill, make it a law, and let the courts sort it out. And Scalia used to lecture about that all the time, that justices should not be doing that. Lawmakers should be doing their job so that it doesn't have to be decided by the courts. That's our problem. So, remember, Gun for Hire is the tip of the spear. I'm running for a board seat, but if you Google Gun for Hire /2A, you'll see what I'm talking about. So, Patty and I celebrated our 2-year anniversary last weekend, and 7 months ago I bought 2 floor seats, 25th row, center for Eric Clapton, one of my favorite artists. He's 72 years old. I don't even want to tell you what I paid for the tickets.
Yeah, I can just
I don't even want to tell you, but I decided...
Was it worth it, though?
I decided I want to do it. Well, I've seen Clapton 10, 11, 12 times. He used to engage in the audience. He came out, he did, first of all, Jimmy Vaughn opened, very good. Gary Clark Jr., you close your eyes, you think you're listening to Hendrix, extremely good. They both opened. Clapton came out, said hello, did 13 songs, came out and did an encore with Vaughn and Gary Clark Jr. That was really good closer, but that was it. So I expected a lot more than that. But let me tell you what happened. We're in the last row of Section A, 25th row. Couple to my right. Now, everybody there is over 50 years old.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Couple to my right, vet from Miami. They flew up for 3 days to see Clapton. They paid stupid money for the tickets, too. He's bragging to me and Patty how many doubles he's drinking. By the time Clapton came on, he was stupid drunk, and he kept falling into me. Clapton is playing acoustic Layla, and this jagoff, Slow Hand, I love you! He's screaming at the top of his lungs, Slow Hand, I love you. Eric, I love you. Everybody behind him yelling. To the front right of us, Sandy, this guy in his mid-60s with his wife, the couple in front of us gets up to do something. He puts his 32-ounce plastic cup Sprite on their seat. The seat flips closed, and Patty and I get 32 ounces of Sprite on our feet, her open-toed shoes, our pants, and the floor.
Are you serious?
No. And I looked at him and said something, just looked at me. And then the couple in front of me definitely entitled Long Island or New York, somewhere in the 5 boroughs, liberals stood the whole concert.
Directly in front of
And directly in front of us, with people behind them yelling, "Sit down, I paid good money for these tickets," and the husband yelling, "Shut up, we paid good money for our tickets too." I will never go and sit in a pit or do anything like that again. Stupid money. Okay? Stupid money. Ruined my night. I hate people. I hate people. You know what? If it was full of gun people, it would have been completely different.
Oh, completely different. Absolutely.
I hate people.
Especially if everybody was carrying.
I hate people.
But it is New Jersey. You're right.
Yes.
It is absolutely. That is
New York, New Jersey area.
That is this area. Yep. Okay, we're out.
How was that? Good rant?
That was good.
I paid $850 for each ticket. Okay? 14 songs. I got Sprited. I got full. The only good thing is every time the drunk fell.
You paid $200 a song.
Yeah. The only good thing was every time the drunk fell on the ground, he sopped up the Sprite off the floor. I kid you not.
Okay, here's the end of the medallion. Stand by.
I'm here. Support Dr. Medallion. Seems like you took care of that. Nice commercial, Sandy. Okay, so I talked about the Cheeseman-Gillard case. You'd be surprised how many people on Mark's New Jersey Firearms Owners Syndicate, how many people still don't even understand that the mag ban is going on, and they're asking, what's the NRA doing? What's NANJRPC doing? But
these are the same people who hide.
So I coined a new term, a new acronym, SMP, Social Media Patriots. One who bitches and complains online, but never leaves the comfort of home and only spends money on video games and Pornhub. Okay?
That's perfect.
SMP, Social Media Patriots. Somebody put that on Wikipedia and somebody put that on Urban Dictionary.
Yes.
Social Media Patriot. One who bitches and complains online, but never leaves the comfort of home. You're in big trouble.
Me?
Ron Sousa, you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
The ACLU came out against the Kavanaugh nomination. Your organization that you have a card, Sousa wants you to burn your card.
I already did.
Alan Dershowitz burned his ACLU card.
So did I.
Why? Good, you did. They came out against the Republican nominee, all right? Because most of the money coming from the ACLU obviously is from liberals, all right? Yeah. They've never recognized the Second Amendment, the ACLU. So the ACLU is dead to me. Oh my God, look, I'm so excited. The ACLU is freaking dead to me, Sandy. I'm sorry, but that's it.
You know me, I join all the organizations just to see what they're doing on the other side. But when it came to, and you know my friend Ron Kuby.
Yes. We met him in the city once.
We met him in the city, right?
Yes.
And Kuby burned his card too. Now, Kuby, you can't get any more liberal than Ron. I mean, Ron he's a radical liberal, and but one thing that I do respect about Kuby is the fact that he's kind of a strict constitutionalist liberal because he's a lawyer and he goes based on law. Law to him is what firearms freedom is to you.
Correct.
Is about the only way I can put it.
Ron Sousa said that, why was the ACLU silent when Michael Cohen's office was raided by the FBI and they took his client's files?
Right.
Why was the ACLU, the ACLU's national political director is a former Democratic Party operative, Faiz Shakir. He was asked why the ACLU got involved in the Kavanaugh confirmation. He admitted, people have funded us and I think they expect a return.
Yeah.
So it's just a lobby group now.
He's getting funded by Soros. The ACLU used to mean something. The ACLU was there for. I'm a big First Amendment guy, and they were always big on the First Amendment. And that changed somewhere. I'm going to say prior to Obama, or maybe just after Obama.
Wow.
And it just went. And that's about the time that I stopped supporting, or even sending money into them.
That camera went down. I don't know how to do it again. I'm going to try it like this. Let me see. That one go down? No, that one's still on. our YouTube stuff is not working as expected. The cameras shut down by themselves. Later on, at the end of the show, we're going to videotape me hitting a GoPro camera with a
ball peen hammer.
I'm going to hit that camera with the flat end, this camera with the round end, the peen end, and we're going to see which one does the most damage.
I don't know
because
I
yeah, but it went off. I just turned it back on. So, Joey Grimaldi says to me, he sent a letter to you. Sandy, if we get rid of the two-party system, what would we replace it with? 3, 4, multiple party, or just individuals and term limits? Joey wanted to know. What's your insight and input on that?
Well, I have to go back to the founders and what the founders said on that. I understand that we think that the two-party system is a good thing because we've been...
It's a one-party system.
It absolutely is.
It's us and them.
It is a uniparty.
Political elites and the unwashed masses.
Right. And the more political parties you have in the race, the better off it is. It doesn't help any to have two parties that are basically owned by special interests
and the rich, repulsive elites.
Right, exactly. I'm gonna.
He didn't answer the question yet, Joey.
I will read this to you from George Washington's farewell address. He warned us about this. I'm going to read just this one paragraph from there. It serves always to he's speaking of the two-party system, right? It serves always to distract the public councils and enfeeble the public administration. It agitates the community with ill-founded jealousies and false alarms. See if any of this stuff rings true with what's going on right now. It agitates the community with ill-founded jealousies and false alarms, kindles the animosity of one part against the other. What can you talk to your people in your family or your friends? There are families who don't speak to one another because of what's going on with the two-party systems, the my side versus your side nonsense. It foments occasional riots and insurrection. This is Washington speaking. Yes, exactly. It opens the door to foreign influence and corruption. Does Russia, China, radical Islam, Antifa, these made-up terms, and National Socialists, does that ring a bell with anybody? It facilitates access to government itself through the channels of the party passions. So, anytime you have election tampering going on, you've got one side against the other. Do you realize what Google can do and has done and what Facebook is doing? The other day I had a message come on to my my watch that Anthony got me that said, you probably got the same message, right? Remember to register to vote.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, most Apple product owners are liberals.
Yep.
Right? So who are they courting? This is the same, this is an in-kind contribution. The same thing happens with Google. During the last campaign, and it wasn't very heavy done, but Google now admits through their memos that Hillary Clinton, if you Googled Hillary Clinton, you got nothing but page after page after page of positive information about her.
If you Googled Trump it would have come up corrupt, racist, all the autofills. Right. If you did Hillary Clinton it comes up Secretary of State, running for president, running the Clinton Foundation. Of course. Right. They're all oligarchs. Oligarchs.
But here, John Adams. I'm going to leave you with
Adams
this.
and Jefferson started the fighting of the two-party system, by the way.
Absolutely.
They're the first two to throw mud. Go ahead.
Right. There's nothing which I dread so much as a division of the Republic into two great parties, each arranged under its leader. And I can't do it. Boy, it's hard to read this.
He's our target.
And concerting measures in opposition to each party. This is my humble apprehension, to be dreaded as the greatest political evil of our Constitution. Because we know that instead of having one king, we now have two kings. and those are kings of the parties. And you know it as well as I do. People, our own family for generations has walked into that voting booth and just pulled the lever on the D party or the R party. In our families, it was always the D party. Because that's our side. They don't care about issues. They don't care about the people running. If you get rid of the parties, we now actually have to investigate the person running and see what the friggin' issues are that they believe in.
100%. If you want to see a good example of this, comedic value, Netflix, a movie, Moon Over Parador. Richard Dreyfuss is in it. He's an actor, and he happens to be in a made-up South American country when the leader dies, but he looks just like the leader, so he body doubles it. But when the leader was alive, he was advertising that this was the first time they were having free and democratic elections in their country, and the people got to vote for red or vote for blue, and it was the same dictator's picture on both of them.
Pretty much.
So
it's pretty damn close.
That's what we have now, Joey.
Absolutely.
I agree. I also got a I got an email from Eric Spinks. He listened to episode 384 the other morning, and he wanted to clarify that Pennsylvania legislature did not pass the Extreme Protection Order bill. They passed a different bill, HB 2060, which was bad enough, but it wasn't the same as New Jersey's Extreme Protection Order bill. But still, they're passing stuff that's infringing on our rights. So move to Pennsylvania, they said.
Well,
move to Florida, they said.
What about the disgraced Attorney General, who now we can't carry in the state of Pennsylvania?
Correct. She's in prison, by the way.
Yeah, but that law's still there.
Yeah, and it's not going to be reversed because the Attorney General they have now, again, is from Philly or Pittsburgh, which was another liberal anyway.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. You know, Sandy, talking about the party systems, the average age of Democratic leadership is 72 years old. The average age of Republican leadership right now is 48 years old. That's interesting. Yet the Democrats always seem to attract...
White guys.
Yeah, but they seem to attract the young people. You know, the young liberals and the socialists all run to the Democrats, and the average age is 72.
Stalin called the useful idiots.
Useful idiots.
Because, I mean, there's... I remember the old Rush Limbaugh used to call them skulls full of mush, and actually it really was... It is true. I mean, we Churchill, right? If you're under 40 and not a liberal, you don't have a heart. If you're over 40 and you're still a liberal, you don't have a brain. It's true, but so all of these youngsters, they just go for that. You know, it's funny. By the way, Ron Sousa, did you and Annette get married yet? I keep forgetting to bring that up there. Did you see this article in the New York Post? All the Hamptons millionaires and billionaires are building $1 million panic rooms to hide from MS-13 because there's so much MS-13 out in Long Island. Yeah, all out in the Hamptons and stuff. Yeah. East Quahog, Montauk, and everything. Really?
Yeah, they're building one client. This is the New York Post article. Just Google Hamptons millionaires build Luxe LUXE panic rooms. One guy spent $100 million on security on his house.
But he doesn't want a wall at the border.
Yeah, he doesn't want the level. I had an exchange with Walter Haas on this. The level of hypocrisy is unbelievable.
But they don't see it. They don't see it in themselves. They really don't.
What they're doing is these people are actually taking media or theater rooms and outfitting them into panic rooms with steel doors, like concrete bunkers under the house, so we go down and watch movies. But if the shit hits the fan, they go down there, they press a button. They have like food and water for like 6 months, communication, guns, ammo, and everything. And they're out there like Tom Steyer and Mike Bloomberg donating hundreds of millions of dollars to elect anti-gun Democrats.
That's right.
The hypocrisy knows no bounds.
And the Democratic Party is no longer the Democratic Party that when we grew up. The Democratic Party now is communist.
Correct. Hit it. $100 million in security on the house. $100 million.
Just on security.
Yeah.
What is a fucking house worth?
Could you imagine? $100 million. What's that bunker look like?
Yeah, right.
The whole house, right? We press a button and a house encapsulates itself. Or it lowers itself down like a silo and grass goes over it.
And I guarantee you the asshole probably didn't put a Faraday cage around, so he'll be locked.
EMP?
EMP, boom, you're stuck inside that bitch. How you get... That'd be great. You gotta edit that out. All right, stand by. $100 million.
$100 million. Read the article. The link is there.
Unbelievable.
Survey question first. Who wants the Shitbagerator commercial back? Please email talkback@gunforhireradio.com. I've been getting a lot of requests. Sandy dropped it. I hate him. Do not forget Gun Sitters on Route 10 East in Whippany. They have a second location in Easton, PA, and they're opening up one in Salisbury, Maryland, and one on the Big Island of Hawaii. Gunsitters.com and their military division weapons guard. You need them. Go on Gunsitters.com and check out their products and services. Tell Eric and Vince Anthony said hello. If you go out to the Easton, PA, it's the Kotzes, K-O-T-Z. They're good people, and tell them I said hello. Also, let's talk about this. What else do I have to talk about? You're really starting to aggravate me. I have a couple more letters I'd like to knock out. I've been knocking them for weeks and weeks. So, Sandy, we have this fan from the UK. He came here for a wedding, and he was here for 3 weeks, and he came here to shoot almost every day for the 3 weeks he was here. And his name is Kieran, K-I-E-R-A-N.
Hey, Kieran.
He got to meet Winston, took a picture with me. Yes.
Oh, great.
And he also brought a friend, a female, who was on the fence about shooting the third or fourth time he came, and then she came with him every day after that, wearing her Gun for Hire shirt. So he wrote, "Hello, Marvin and Anthony. I can't stress enough how much Olivia and I enjoyed our time at Gun for Hire. You and your team took care of us like we were family. Olivia had such a good time that she is ready to pack her bags and move to New Jersey to work on your reception desk. I have only been home for 3 days and I'm already itching to get back behind the trigger. Another trip to America is definitely in the cards after I clear my credit card. Until we meet again, possibly in the UK if you visit." Marvin's wife is from the UK, by the way. "I will continue to listen to the radio show and practice my drills. Take care, Marvin. Thank you, and Anthony, for having us. Kieran." Okay, that's pretty cool. He was a really great guy. Came out here for a wedding. He brought a couple other of his mates here to shoot and everything. And he was here almost every day. He's like, "Is Winston here?" So I brought him in my office to meet Winston. We took a picture together and everything. And it's just good people. I love spreading the love out there. I got an email from John Petrolino III. "What is the law concerning illegal aliens and firearm ownership? I feel if New Jersey is going to push so they get driver's license, they should be able to get FIDs as well. Maybe there is a big lawsuit in there." So I emailed Devin Knappen, and Knappen's response was quite cryptic. He goes, "Prohibited, space, at the moment." Okay, it won't be long before an illegal can they just released how much it's costing the state now with illegals getting their county college education paid for free. I haven't read it yet. I'm going to look next week. We'll discuss it because it'll hit the airwaves. All right.
My eyes are going to bleed.
Yeah. Remember our buddy Kurt Andrews from the middle of nowhere in Indiana?
Yes.
He wrote, he has a good quote, "Every time I see an adult on a bicycle with a gun, I no longer despair for the human race." He's a big bike rider, and he asked me a question. He goes, "I have a question that I would like your input over. I have been road biking for a couple of years, and he's been attacked by 2 dogs. The latest one was just a couple weeks ago. The second dog bit his leg, and it was a feral dog, and he had to go to the ER, and he had to get rabies shots, okay? There's a ton of dogs, coy dogs, and coyotes in his area, and there's an increase in that stated that rabies is also in an increase. He currently carries bear spray, but I've been thinking about carrying a small, light 380 auto pistol instead." And he asked me about the Diamondback DB380. And now that has a firing pin block safety, and it's only 8.5 ounces. That's a really good gun to carry. He's just worried about if he gets into a crash or he falls or a dog attacks him. He also said he's a lifetime member of the NRA, and he enjoys my YouTube videos now. I post my rants on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. You can find me, okay? You can find me. And so, Kurt, I responded to Kurt in email, and I said the 380 is good, but ballistically, the 380 is a weak round, and I would rather see him carrying a 5-shot revolver, to be honest. Yes, less apt to go off by accident if you fall, as pretty idiot-proof. So put it on your list, and if you want to worry about your budget, the Ruger LCR would be a great way to go. Get it in 38 plus P. You don't have to go with the 357. Get it in 38 or 38 plus P. And obviously you're in Indiana, you can carry hollow points. But to me, that with the 2 speed strips, with
Oh, yeah,
6
right,
rounds
right.
on each one,
Yeah.
would be 12 and 5. You have 17 rounds at your disposal. But for
And
now,
speed strips don't take up a lot of room
they're
at all in
flat.
your pocket.
They're flat. Yeah, but for now, the Diamondback is definitely the way to go. But the polymer frame and everything of the Ruger LCR would be good. You don't have to worry about your body sweat and everything, rusting and corroding it.
Yeah.
I would recommend weekly after bike riding, oiling that gun down and wiping it off. Just spraying it with some oil or rubbing it down with the oil on all the inside and outside surfaces, and then dry it with a rag and let it sit overnight. To dry it. Once a week is fine. You don't have to do it daily, but I would do that once a week on your final ride on Sunday or something, just because the sweat and salts from your body and everything could slowly but surely attack it. But Kurt, thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate it. I got an email from Stephen Shorter, a huge email from Stephen Shorter. Stephen Carrion came across the pond to visit, but he apologized for his radio silence. He's been kept busy moving house, and he had barely time to talk. But he goes, that's okay, life gets in the way. But he's he wrote a short story, an essay about things got to where they are. And he wrote, the fight against the encroaching tide of anti-gun fanaticism is raging here in the UK, as well as over here in the US. A recent push to outlaw 50 BMG rifles and certain rapid-firing rifles, which I mentioned in a previous message to you, has been hijacked by more radical elements of the Labour Party who are attempting to be seen to be doing something bold in a year when London alone has seen over 120 murders with knives and guns. These self-serving MPs have inserted clauses into the bill that would restrict the use of air rifles by children to junior members of gun clubs. This would stop the last bastion of youth shooting. That's what it's all about. The scouts from introducing the next generation to shooting and positive gun culture instead of leaving their only exposure to guns to Hollywood movies and video games. All violence. Nothing wholesome, right?
Exactly.
The thing about this process, which I found interesting, was that during early consultations on this bill, many legal experts gave evidence that attacking law-abiding gun owners was totally ineffective way to fight crime. These points were acknowledged verbally, but the bill's authors, who promised to take a closer look how they might work with the shooting community rather than banning things outright, a step in the right direction, we thought. Then, when the consultation process ended and the bill came back with its first round of editing, not only were the problematic segments still there, but the aforementioned new segments had been added. Because that's what happens. We go there to Trenton, like we do. We go to Trenton, we try to educate them, and they take our education and they turn it against us.
Of course.
Okay?
They're like, oh, we missed that part.
Correct. He says it just goes to show you that most politicians employ the smile and nod approach to dealing with dissent. Pretend you care and then do what you were originally going to do anyway. Public masters. They're not public servants anymore, all right?
Like that for a long time.
He says they're fighting back. Their local gun club, along with a lot of other British Rangers, have been inviting local MPs to visit and shoot and to learn more about the world of guns. Though, as expected, many didn't reply, of course. A surprising number have responded and visited the local clubs, but I've seen a groundswell of letters from those MPs saying they will certainly express our concerns to Parliament. Yeah, grandstanding. It might seem like a bit of doom and gloom message, but I'd like to just end on a high note by repeating the sentiments of my previous message, that there's always a way forward and it's always worth fighting on. I don't have kids yet. I'm too young, dumb, and well, you know how that rest goes. My missus isn't ready to settle down yet, but when I do, I want to be able to hand my son or daughter a small piece of me that they can carry with them for the rest of their lives, a skill and an appreciation for a timeless tradition. So take a leaf out of the politician's book. When they scream at you for being selfish and set in your ways, try to twist them into a bad guy for liking to and try to twist you into a bad guy for liking to shoot, hunt, smoke, drink, or whatever else is fashionable to hate. Just smile, nod, and carry on doing what you're doing, because you know they will. All the best, Stephen Shorter. As you guys can see, it's not just us. Our 50 states are under attack, but the UK too. They pretty much banned guns outright for people to carry, and now they want to ban the youth shooting programs in the country, so that, again, the only exposure they get is the murder and mayhem of Hollywood, and that's all our politicians care about, all right? And it's horrible that we live in this state of gun grabbing. I talked before we went on the last break, Tom Steyer and Mayor Bloomberg, They're racing. They're donating hundreds of millions of dollars in states where they're trying to out pro-gun Republicans to elect anti-gun Democrats.
Right.
And they're going to do it. They're going to focus 1 or 2 states at a time.
Look at what they're doing
and they're
at
going to flip
Cruz
it.
in Texas.
With Beto O'Rourke. Beto.
Richard O'Rourke. But he goes by Beto.
I don't understand what that means, but
well, it just
his name.
He's trying to appear that he is Hispanic in nature, when Ted Cruz actually is
Cuban.
Latina.
Of Cuban descent, right?
Yes.
Hold on, you think you Ted Cruz? You give me some cigars, man, and me and my buddy Manuel from Miami and Scarface, we will get the votes for you.
That's right.
How was that good?
That was very good.
Last email, Linda Rose. Hey, don't know if you ever checked out the work at Hillsdale College. Yes, I subscribe. Dennis Prager and everybody else as part of that. They do really good work. Some of the things they offer through their website, free online courses. They have a great online course about Winston Churchill.
Yeah,
I think it's a 10-part series. They also have a newsletter. I get that. Hillsdale College that covers various topics and events happening around the country. They are also involved in other things like trying to educate public school students on how the government works and the Constitution through various other programs. And they have charter schools in 9 states. Good information to pass on between belches on the show.
Nice. Thank
you, Linda. Oh yeah, and one more thing. You bastard. How come every freaking time you mention me on the show, you never fail to throw my goddamn age in there as well? You're not that far off, sweetie. I have a good mind to hit you over the head with a cane and foot you in the ass with an orthopedic shoe next time I see you. Love, Linda Rose. Love you, Linda. She's going to kick me in the ass with an orthopedic shoe, Sandy.
Love.
Her and her hubby come and shoot all the time. He's a retired mailman. I don't know what she did, but she's the best. She's the best.
Stand by.
Do you have your lipstick bodyguard? I do. Somebody emailed and said you should make one that looks like a cigar.
A cigar.
Yeah. Since these tend to get through security because they look like lipstick,
right.
You can make it like my vape cigar.
Cigar bodyguard.
Cigar bodyguard.
You gotta let them know that.
Do it. So lipstick bodyguard is you should check it out. It's available online, lipstickbodyguard.com, and it's also available on the Gun for Hire webpage, and it's also available at the range. Come and support the tip of the spear in New Jersey of the Second Amendment fight and support those who support us. Speaking of that, my buddy Bob Ramo and his lovely wife Patty out in Towanda, Pennsylvania, or Monroeton, Pennsylvania. Check out shootersgauntlet.com. Shootersgauntlet.com. It has a 1,500-yard range. That's where we train, the 1,000-yard and the 1,500-yard shoots. He hosts 2 machine gun shoots a year.
Wow.
And he also, you can, if you go on his website, you can zip line while shooting. So if anybody wants to take Ruth Bader Ginsburg zip lining there
and shooting,
Bob Ramo and I will definitely split the bill.
Absolutely.
So check out their website, shootersgauntlet.com. You will not be disappointed. Jimmy wants to build a cabin out there, but Bob won't let him because Jimmy doesn't know how to drive in the mud. Long story. If you go on Shooters Gauntlet's Facebook page, you'll see what I'm talking about.
There's a story behind
Bob
that.
had to get his Pinsgauer, his German destroying vehicle, and pull Jimmy out of 3 feet deep mud one time.
Wow.
During a storm, yeah. But these guys are the best.
What was Jimmy driving? It was Jimmy
one
walking?
of my trucks,
Oh, of course.
my 2500 Dodge 4x4, his truck, his company vehicle. So check out shootersgauntlet.com. Those guys are great. I'm looking forward to seeing Bob at the SHOT Show again. I haven't gotten out there yet. It's a 3-hour ride each way from here,
Yeah.
And there's beautiful hotels and restaurants out there. There used to be a huge gas industry, natural gas industry, so it built up big time out there, and there's still gas out there, but the build-up's not there anymore. But there's beautiful hotels and restaurants in the middle of paradise. So it's definitely a trip, an overnight trip or whatever. A lot of our
straight out Route 80, right?
I have no idea. I hope. Look up Towanda, PA, or go to shootersgauntlet.com. Bob's a New York guy. You'd love him when you meet him. He's borderline crazy like me. He has no filter, politically incorrect. Someday we're going to get him on the show. Sandy and I might take a ride out there and do a show from there, like during a machine gun shoot or something. So
Yeah,
I'm firming it up now. So it's tis the season, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so glad that I got caught up on all the letters. I've been carrying a lot of these letters for like 3 or 4 weeks now. But this is the season now, daylight savings time's coming soon, the end of the month. And it's going to get dark early, right? So a couple of things to think about. Every daylight savings time at Gun for Hire Academy, by the way, there's going to be a webpage called Anthony for Hire. And we're going to be offering about 20 seminars for free to local organizations and civic groups where we're going to come out and we can teach safety seminars. So that's coming really soon. Next week, the email and the webpage should drop. But let's talk about this. Every daylight savings time, batteries in our smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors. Check our fire extinguishers in our house. If you don't have at least 3 fire extinguishers in your house, you're not doing it right. There should be one in the kitchen at least 5 or 8 feet away from the stove. It shouldn't be in a cabinet under the stove. There should be one in the garage or basement near the furnace. If you have a garage, there should be one in the garage. And there should be a third one somewhere. I have one inside my pantry door. I mounted it to the door so it doesn't get covered with recycling bags or anything else like that. My fire extinguishers I got from George Y., who's a platinum member of the range, but you can get them from Home Depot, commercial and residential use, ABC extinguishers.
Just get a good one, though.
Correct. You should also, at this time, you should have Kitty is a good one.
Yeah,
you should have a fire drill in your house with your family. You should also have an emergency drill.
It never goes over well with my wife.
Fire drill? Yeah. They don't want to do it.
They don't want to do it.
They want to wait until it's too late. You should have
I know how to get out of here.
Yeah.
There's 2 doors.
Yeah. You should have an emergency drill in your house where you teach the whole family how to do something. But now we also have Halloween coming, and it's going to get dark earlier. It's not a bad idea to give your kids flashlights. Okay, novelty flashlights are a good flashlight. Light sticks, Cyalume light sticks that you crack and light. You should have them for your kids for trick-or-treating. You should have them in the house in case you get a power failure. Me, Patty, the girls, they all have a bag of 50. Yeah. Michaela has 50 for her dorm. Monica for her new place with Marco. Patty has them at her place. I have them in my house. Yeah, you can get them on Amazon.com. We sell them here too, Gun for Hire, red. They last for about 12 hours.
The red ones are nice because they don't give you night blood.
And you don't, I'm not a big fan of the yellow.
Yeah.
But the blue is cute. Let's talk about the kids with trick-or-treating. Every year, it tends up to be trunk-or-treating now. They have these school-sponsored or community-sponsored trick-or-treating things because your kids aren't out on the street. You should inspect all your kids' candy when they come home because there's a lot of bad people out there. But if your kids live in an area like a small contained area and they're going to trick or treat, there should be adult supervision. I'm sorry, but the adults should be hanging out in the background. And if you're supervising an adult, if you're texting while you're supervising the kids, you're not a good supervisor. You should just put a mask on too and trick or treat and have somebody else do the adult supervision. All right, because a kid can run right out onto the street. It happens all the time. It's dark out. There's leaves on the ground. You should also check candy for choking hazards, all right? Any costumes the kids wear should be visible. Everybody wants to wear the Scream outfit, a black robe with a white face. That's horrible. It really is. Let the kid be Casper the Ghost if you're old enough to remember Casper the Ghost, all right? Make sure they could see through the costumes. When we were kids, we wore molded plastic ones. We couldn't see out of them. And I wore glasses, so my glasses fogged up.
Broke halfway through.
Yeah, it always broke, right? The little plastic, the elastic spring.
Yeah.
Make sure their costume's not too long so they can't trip, okay? Watch out for masks that block vision, all right? Costumes, wigs, and everything else, make sure they're flame resistant or flame retardant. A lot of times they'll say it won't. A lot of stuff's made overseas to the lowest bidders. The stuff comes in dumping in its crap, and the kid can catch fire. It's happened before, many a times, okay?
Yes.
Make sure that accessories like swords, canes, or sticks are not too sharp or too long. Kids will walk with a cane or sword dragging across the ground. They'll hit a crack and they'll end up poking themselves in the abdomen or the throat or the face, okay? There should be no sharp edges. You really have to use your head here because you can't rely on the kids to do this, okay?
And if
you
you're
have
our
to do
age,
it.
We broke our parents would have been in jail.
Every rule was broken.
Every rule.
My parents never checked my candy. When I went to bed at night, my father took the Butterfingers, and my mother took any Goldberg's Peanut Chews or Almond Joys.
Remember they used to have those strips of paper with the dots on it?
Yeah,
I wasn't allowed to have them. My mom was.
She ate them?
No.
They are
You're
crap.
not getting that. She threw them away.
They are crap.
They look like pills.
Be careful if you cut a pumpkin and put a candle in it. That's also a fire hazard. Candles in the house are obviously a fire hazard, especially if you have pets. If I find out that your pet jumped and got burnt with wax or something from a candle, I'd kill you, all right? The other thing is, your house, you're going to decorate it, kids vandalizing stuff, buy a sticker that says "Smile, you're on camera," or a little yard sign, and buy it from Amazon.com, even if you don't have cameras, and stick it in the grass. It will stop people from robbing stuff when you go to sleep at night, like these skeleton dogs they have and all this other things out there. You know, trim your shrubs and trees. Make sure your area is well lit, all right? You really got to use caution driving. The night before Halloween and the day after, you know, what they call it, mischief night or whatever the terminology has to be, kids are going to be running around. I know there's less and less kids out on the street today, but kids are going to be running around, all right? And if you can park somewhere where it's well lit or in your garage so they don't mischief night you with eggs or wax or flour or whatever, or paint, God forbid, today. But also, when kids come to your door to trick or treat, I wouldn't keep valuables in plain view of the kids to see. Somebody will step in your door and take your iPad or something. You really should. I know it's a shit way to live, but you know, you're going to get teenage kids, later teenage kids come to your house, and they're going to look and they're going to go, "Wow."
Masquerading with kids.
Correct. Did you see she had a camera on her thing? Did you see she had the new iPhone XS on her thing? Let's go back. We'll change masks and let's go back in 10 minutes and you distract her and we'll steal her stuff. It happens. It happens more often than not. Don't leave the candy outside the door because then people are just going to take the whole bowl. Let's face it. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, we did too. Sorry, Mom. But I'm still alive to talk about it. But the old hard plastic.
She's just finding out now.
You know, I'm pretty blind, so I used to have to put the plastic mask over my glasses, and the first thing that would happen is my glasses would fog up. So my mother sent me out with a flammable costume, with a flammable mask that I had no visibility on, trick-or-treating at night in Newark. Okay? And I'm 57 years old, and I'm still here to talk about it, okay? Because maybe I had a little street smarts, too, and maybe there was some divine intervention, and maybe I had some luck behind me as well. You know, that all played a factor into it.
And when we weren't trick-or-treating, we were riding on the back ledge of the window in the car.
I can't confirm or deny that I was involved in stuff like that, but going full circle back, so it's your responsibility, parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles, to take care of this stuff, but it's also your responsibility. This is home safety time. It's also fall now, like we talked about a few weeks ago. Now is a good time when it's still in the 60s to clean up around the house, lock that ladder up, get the gutters cleaned out, any clutter around the house. Buy the rock salt. You know, I buy the calcium chloride, the greenish blue one that's paw safe for Winston. I have 5 pounds of it. I live in a gated community. They take care of the snow, but if I get a little ice, I want to touch it up. I have a metal shovel. I have a plastic shovel. Now is the time to put the ice scrapers in the trunks of your car and make sure they work. Now is the time to buy the windshield washer fluid with the de-icer in it. Now is the time to get your wiper blades changed, okay? Because who wants to go to a service station when it's 10 below zero? Anyway, now would be a great time. Check the air in your tires, get your oil changed, get your car serviced for the winter service, so you don't have to do it again until the spring.
Let all the summer air out and then put all the winter air in.
Exactly. Also, like I said, if you go to a reputable gas station, you can ask them to do a battery load test too. If your battery shows that it's slightly weak, now would be a good time to replace the battery. Otherwise, the first day it's 20 below zero out, you're going to come out to click, 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 click. You should also have your antifreeze checked. All right, they put a little dip meter in with a floating ball, and they tell you what percentage it is. Because if you had just added water and you diluted the antifreeze, the glycol, too much, you're going to freeze your engine. All right, so this is a great time to do it. If you're itching for that brake job, but you bought a gun and decided to wait another month for the brake job, get the brake job done this month and wait 2 more months to buy another gun. Christmas is coming. So these are the little things that we need to do. We need to go around a house, do an inspection. We need to take care of our kids, the neighborhood kids and everything. Listen, I'm all about today with kids and everything. Take one of your drop cams or Nest cams, if you have one in the house, and put it right at the front door during Halloween for the trick-or-treating and stuff. You never know, man. Somebody come to your house with a mask and rob you at gunpoint or knife point today. Nothing surprises me.
Different world.
Yeah, nothing surprises me anymore. So I would just make sure that you go through the full checklist in your house. Your kids shouldn't have candles in their rooms. All right, I'm serious. There should be no candles in any kids' rooms. Teenage kids, if they're 19 or 20, they want candles in their rooms, they're old enough to move out then.
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
Not in my house, not on my watch.
You sound like your father now.
You know what, Sandy? It's a different world that we live in today. You know, like checking the candy. I'd be suspect. Anything opened, anything that looks funny or funky or off color, I would throw it out today. You know, to be honest, the price of candy is so cheap that I probably wouldn't keep anything. That's not a bad idea. Replacing your kid's trick-or-treat bag when they go to sleep at night with one that you made. If you have 2 or 3 kids. If you know your kids like Snickers and Milky Ways, you know, go out and buy a small bag of each, and while they're sleeping, throw that in with a couple of Jawbreakers or something like that, and they'll remember the next day. They'll think that's what they collected.
Yeah, right.
We do the Trunk or Treat at town every year. Jimmy wins the trophy for the best display every year, so look out, Woodland Park. We're coming for our trophy again. So, we have low light, no light at Woodland Park. Urban Shotgun 1, Urban Shotgun 2. Holster Draw, October 25th. Urban Pistol 1, 2, and 3 at Gun for Hire. Urban Carbine 1, 2, and 3 at Gun for Hire. Check us out. Jimmy will be posting the new dates for the 1,500-yard clinics for the spring. And check out Shooter's Gauntlet, please. And I like the new commercial for Dr. Medallion. Support those who support us. And also remember to support Gun for Hire Woodland Park Range. We are the tip of the spear in the 2A fight in New Jersey. I'm out.
If you're anywhere in the country, join everybody who comes from around the world.
Today we had China, Brazil, Norway, San Diego, and Long Island in the house.
Wow.
Not a bad mix.
Just a morning. Well, looks like you've done it again. You've wasted yet another perfectly good hour listening to Gun for Hire Radio. Gun for Hire Radio is a Counterthink media production. The music used in this broadcast was managed by Cosmo Music, New York, New York, under license of Broadcast Music Incorporated.